What's up, strange, dark, and mysterious delivered in story format fans?
Before we get into today's story, let me ask you something. If you woke up tomorrow and every single person in your neighborhood had vanished without a trace, leaving behind only one cryptic word carved into a tree, what would you think happened?
Well, that's exactly what happened to 115 English colonists in 1590, and nearly 435 years later, we still have no idea where they went. This is the story of America's oldest unsolved mystery.
So let's go back to 1587. England is flexing its colonial muscles, trying to compete with Spain's dominance in the New World. Sir Walter Raleigh, the Elon Musk of his time, rich, ambitious, and slightly unhinged, decides he's going to establish England's first permanent settlement in America.
He sends 115 colonists to Roanoke Island, off the coast of what's now North Carolina. The colony was led by John White. And here's where it gets interesting. His daughter Eleanor was among the colonists, and she was pregnant on August 18, 1587. Eleanor gave birth to Virginia Deer, the first English child born in America. Picture this. You're literally making history. Your granddaughter is the first of her kind on an entire continent.
But supplies were running low.
John White made what seemed reasonable.
He'd sail back to England for supplies and reinforcements.
How long could it take? A few months, maybe a year tops.
Well, the Spanish Armada had other plans.
England was fighting for its life, and every ship was needed.
1 year became two became three, finally. In August 1590,
3 years after he'd left his family behind, John White made it back to Roanoke Island. Picture this scene. You're rowing toward shore, where you left your daughter and granddaughter. You're expecting to see smoke from cooking fires, hear voices calling out in excitement. Instead, you see nothing, complete silence. The settlement was completely abandoned. But here's where it gets really weird. Carved into a wooden post at the entrance was the word CROATOAN, and on a nearby tree, they found CRO carved into the bark.
Before leaving, White had made an agreement with the colonists. If they had to leave, they would carve their destination into wood. If they were in danger, they would carve a cross above the message. There was no cross above CROATOAN.
So what happened to 115 people? CROATOAN was a nearby island where friendly Native Americans lived. Maybe the colonists relocated there willingly. White wanted to sail there immediately, but a massive storm hit.
His ship was damaged, and they were forced back to England. John White never made it to CROATOAN Island. He never saw his daughter or granddaughter again.
Over 400 years, historians have developed fascinating theories. Some expeditions reported seeing Native Americans with European features, blonde hair, blue eyes. Could these have been descendants of the last colonists? Theory 2. Hostile tribes attacked and massacred all the colonists, but there were no signs of violence, no bodies, no evidence of struggle. Theory 3. The colonists moved inland to the Chesapeake Bay area. Archaeological evidence has turned up European artifacts from the late 1500s at inland North Carolina sites. Theory 4. Spanish forces eliminated the English settlement. Spain controlled Florida and was actively hunting English colonies. Theory 5. A natural disaster wiped out the colony. The Outer Banks are notorious for severe weather.
But in 2020, archaeologists made discoveries that might change everything. At Hatteras Island, the modern name for CROATOAN Island, they've uncovered European artifacts dating to the late 1500s.
They found pieces of a rapier sword, early gun parts, and most intriguingly, a signet ring with a lion design matching the Kendall family heraldic symbols, one of the known Roanoke colonists. Ground-penetrating radar revealed foundations of European-style buildings on Hatteras Island.
DNA analysis of Native American remains shows European genetic markers dating to the late 1500s. So it's looking like at least some colonists made it to CROATOAN Island and integrated with the local population, but that still doesn't answer all our questions.
This is where things get fascinating. I run all available evidence through advanced analysis to see what patterns might emerge that human historians have missed. The AI suggests the most likely scenario is a combination of theories. The colonists likely split into multiple groups, Group 160 to 70 people, including families relocated to CROATOAN Island and integrated with Native Americans. This explains the artifacts, genetic markers, and organized departure. Group 3, 15 to 25 people, possibly elderly or sick, may not have survived the relocation, explaining missing numbers in later sightings. So what really happened to the lost colony? The latest evidence suggests they made a practical decision to relocate to more sustainable locations.
Virginia Dare, the first English child born in America, probably lived a full life as part of the CROATOAN tribe. Her descendants might still be living in the Outer Banks today. The last colony wasn't lost at all. They just found a better place to call home.
Subscribe now for more enigmas.